We find ourselves back at the Ascidian Gate, a massive tower overlooking the city of Jorix, oftentimes a point of reference for some, foreboding, for others a sense of comfort that the city itself will always be protected by the Crownsguard and the people within Jorix. Right now, it is a mass of chaos as there are Crownsguard that are constantly being pulled from various directions, some to the Ascidian Gate outside, getting ready for some kind of battle. Others are going ahead and setting up healing wards, setting up magical circles. The gate itself is also at the ready for an attack, well equipped with weapons and magical items itself. Crownsguard running off to get themselves set up to provide chance be able to attack from higher levels, as well as making sure that the citizens of Jorix are also evacuated. Astani, in this present time, has been pulled away and is currently talking to an individual. As we jump over to Rory, what are you doing in this kind of final prep before this fight? You can hear outside as more shouting is kind of happening. And again, that ever so present, almost beat of heavy paw prints on the ground that kind of shake the ground slightly, sending ripples through the vicinity. What are you doing?
I am watching people make their preparations and or making helpful suggestions, for better or for worse, during their time alive. The and I put this in air quotes, end of their life involved a lot of war. So it's kind of like chaos, like chaos and destruction, our unfortunately familiar friends. And it's just like, well, hopefully they have enough for at least some protective magics. I know that there were some I wanted them to cast, but they didn't have the materials for it. And also, why don't they have materials for things? You would think in a citadel, in a fort or something like this, they would have things on hand for that. Well, we'll have to make do with what we'll have to make do with, I guess.
And they do, I think, with this, a couple of Crownsguards have ushered you back to kind of their private stores. There is like a much larger kind of pantry room that's been set up that you can see is well equipped with swords, with shields, armor, bows and arrows, things like that. But when it comes to things like scrolls for magical purposes, or kind of more of the words are hard items that are sometimes used as materials in spells or potions, they're pretty picked over. You do notice that there is a barrel with what looks like these kind of bits of like ice cubes, perfectly formed, that a few of the Crownsguard are kind of grabbing in small kind of like handfuls of.
Do I happen to know what that is?
Why don't you go ahead and roll an investigation check or an arcana check? Either will be fine.
Investigation or arcana. Okay, I can do at least one of those. Give me a moment.
Sure.
That is a 22 on arcana.
22. You would know that these are two things about this. One, the magical signature is very familiar to you, Tyneal. So arguably this is one of his creations. These look like they are kind of not necessarily like force fields, but they are magical boundaries, perimeters that can be quickly thrown, and it will prevent a battle or creature that is inside of it from spilling out into the city itself. This seems to be how they've been able to manage, so that way the people of Dorks are not constantly paying like property taxes and stuff to kind of fix anything that might be broken in a battle or otherwise. It's kind of to help self-contain it.
So, two things. Um, Based on what I understand about what that barrel does, or like what the contents of it are for, does that barrier, I think you said that the barrier is used to kind of contain things. Can it also be used to keep things out of the containment area?
Correct. The exact, because I know I think it was like a 50-foot cube that I mentioned to Stani last session. So it's pretty large, but it's not massive. It probably won't be able to contain the creature that is currently roaming its way down the street, but it could come in handy. And they're not regulating anyone like grabbing these. There's several barrels of these that have been set up around the room.
I'm going to go and try to pick up a barrel. I just want to assess how heavy the barrel is.
Oh my god. Okay. Why don't you make a strength check?
Wow, straight up strength check. Because I'm great at those.
Yeah.
I am more like, I just rolled a nat 1. I am more likely to sprain something than to move that barrel.
Yeah. I would say based off of your scientific knowledge, an empty barrel typically weighs about 90 pounds. And this, full barrel is probably going to weigh between 300 and 400 pounds in itself. So a bit more heavy, for sure.
Crafty. That's surprisingly useful. Tyneal, so clever. I'm gonna have to talk to you about that.
Love it.
We'll do it now, but now's not the time.
Easily can do that. Wonderful. Did you want to pick any out of the barrel? Are you leaving it as is? Is there anything in this room that by chance might be of interest to you? Like I mentioned, there's not really a lot of scrolls. Just because,
so I know that we have weapons, but I have like specialized, I don't know if these weapons are magical, and I have specialized magical ones. So I don't know if the weapons would be useful.
They're not magical.
I might check some of the barrels though and see if those are magical though.
Okay.
Or we like kind of see what the barrels contain.
All the barrels that you currently see either hold like loops of rope or as mentioned, more of those kind of cubes that have been set up that literally are about this size, which is perfect. So that's largely it. The barrels themselves aren't magical. Neither are the weapons that are in this vicinity.
How many? You said there were cubes.
Mm-hmm.
Just cubes?
Yep.
Are they on top of the barrels, or is it just barrels full of these cubes?
Barrels are full of these cubes.
Okay. How many can I fit in a satchel?
How big is the satchel?
I like it just like a normal, I guess whatever normal size satchel would be.
Okay.
Do I?
Is it like a coin purse satchel or is it like a messenger bag satchel? It was more so trying to get a gauge on that size.
Oh, right. Something about the size of a messenger bag.
You could probably fit, like, I would say, like, oh boy, probably about 50 of those into a messenger bag.
Okay. I am absolutely going to throw as many of them as you will let me throw into the bag.
Go for it, yeah.
And then I take all but one and find the nearest person and go, just for my knowledge, how do you use this?
You pull aside a what appears to be a air genasi looking individual, wispy white hair kind of pulled back into 2 braids that go directly behind their back, constantly swaying in the wind, especially right now as they're kind of moving around a bit more erratically than they were before. Skin that is phasing between kind of a white, silver, and blue, with white eyes. They are wearing looks like armor that is emblazoned with silver and blue accents. Looks like they're probably higher up in the Crown's Guard, so not your basic kind of equivalent of like a fledgling, but more like a sergeant probably under Tyneal. And she looks at you for a moment, and kind of looks confused. She very carefully will take one of the cubes off of the barrel itself and says, well, you just throw it, and then typically you have to concentrate on it. So there's no magical words or anything like that. You just need to basically form a mental link with the barrier, and it will, should stay up. It's got about 200 hit points under table. It's got about 200 hit points, and as long as you are able to maintain that concentration, the barrier will stay in place.
Okay. And you throw that at the item that you wish to contain or protect, I guess?
Correct.
And how big of a cube does this make?
About 50
or protect
feet.
the space?
50
About 50
feet.
feet?
Mm-hmm.
This is probably going to be a bit unusual of a question, and I understand that. However, are there any particular dangers to ingesting these?
You just see the hair stops moving for a second at this question that happens. We've never tried that, although Tyneal has obviously asked us to, like, not, but I'm not sure. That has not been tried.
And see that this Genasi
Yeah.
can, like, for what can be read of facial expressions, can see that Rory has taken this into consideration. To what end, they cannot possibly imagine.
Sure. Yeah, you can see it's a look of, like, at first it was horror, but now she's, like, intrigued. But then, like, she looks around and she sees a couple of, like, newbie guards are listening in, and she just gives this look of, don't even think about it. To them. This could definitely be brought up to Tyneal. Once we get through this and once he gets back, I believe your friend was going to get them.
Well, actually, hold on. And I look at the cube. How is the cube, like, what size would you say the
It
cube
is ice cube size. It is the very, very, very size that fits into your drinks to keep them cool on a hot summer day.
Okay, so
This is turning into Code Lyoko's shit. Like
he takes a moment. He takes a moment.
Mm-hmm.
He takes another long moment, and then goes, well, I suppose stranger things will probably happen today.
Mm-hmm.
And introducing our first bit of chaos for the day, he eats the cube.
Okay. Can you make a Constitution savings throw for me, please?
Sure.
Am I gonna have to start writing down if you eat this mechanics with?
I mean,
I adore you. I adore you so much.
I personally would suggest it. I personally would suggest but what if they eat this? Because here's the thing: he's eating this with a hypothesis.
No, I know.
That Constitution save is a 19.
Okay. It tastes like raw magic. Very much, very seasoned, I would say, if anything. Almost too seasoned. Not quite spicy, but there's just a lot. The flavor profile is kind of all over the place. It honestly reminds you of slime in some capacities. And it is ice cold. You feel for a moment as it's kind of moving through your tract, so to speak, like you might vomit, but you're able to kind of pull yourself together
Hold it
again.
down.
Yep. Yep. Keeping it together. And yeah, you've ingested a cube.
A cube of raw magical energy. So here's what I would like. We can do this in a little bit.
No, I love this. We're here.
Oh, okay. If we're here, I want to, obviously it creates a barrier. So this is abjuration magic of some interesting application of abjuration magic. What I want to know as is being ingested is, can either A, does that now create a barrier space where I'm the center of the barrier space? Or can I take that magical energy and repurpose it for something else?
Let's try this, because I'm curious. Why don't you do an Arcana?
Okay.
I can't decide if it should be a check or a savings throw, depending on what you are leaning towards. We'll say this.
Okay.
If you are leaning towards it being a magical barrier around you, I think that's a savings throw. If you are more inclined to it by chance being repurposed into by chance just knowing you and the other chaos you might have up your sleeve, we'll say that's a check.
Okay.
Yeah, you and Tyneal are going to be science bros. I can just see this now. Honestly.
I did not. I think this is the first time that I have learned that Tyneal is even a scientist.
Oh, he's an arcanist? Yes.
This is interesting. I think I am going. I want to do both of these, but I guess that means I'd have to eat another cube.
It would, yeah, and probably I will tell you right now, the Constitution check for this will be a lot higher.
Okay, so
I'm just seeing Moz's face right now.
Well, okay, so for what I wanted to do originally, I think we're gonna go with the savings throw to maintain a barrier around myself.
Okay, all right. The DC for that, I'm gonna tell you right now, is gonna be a 25.
A 25?
25.
For Arcana? Okay.
You ate a cube of magic. I think that's very fair of you being like, let me now focus this in to make a boundary around myself.
Well, I mean, it's the
I think that's very fair.
Well, it's important for science, but okay. There's a science emote in the chat, by the way. I just want to remind all of that. I got a 27 total on Arcana.
Yeah, okay. What does it look like as you are connecting with this cube? And you can feel almost like, not quite Carmen's voice, but almost like a smaller voice coming into your head. That is asking.
I think it's the system diagnostic.
Yeah,
there's a system diagnostic that is just kind of like, what is this foreign material?
I love it. Of just systems online.
I think there is a coursing of, because this is the kind of energy that I think about when it comes to abjurations.
Sure.
This kind of warm yellow color that is the proper size of the barrier, but just centered on Rory. It's kind of like, oh, so that does do what I think it would do. Hold on for a moment. And they just start walking around the room.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming that is just kind of like it's the barrier, but it just follows them around the center.
Yep.
It's like, okay, well, I have learned something useful, but it is potentially dangerous to people who are not a fairly like strong constitution. However, apparently it is possible for you to use these in a way that creates a barrier centered on a person, which also means we now have an option for mobile barriers. Oh, what a time.
This is me as a DM going, what the fuck did I unleash? Sin, I've missed you.
Does the barrier push people away from me immediately, or is it only for things that I perceive as dangerous?
Things that you perceive as dangerous, otherwise you would be pushing everybody out of all the rooms and vicinities and probably smushing them up against walls and things.
And that is why I am asking.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, and it also seems to come included with at least an innate sense of who you perceive as friends or enemies, which means it wouldn't be dangerous to anyone here. Well, potentially, unless someone decides to start using mind-altering magic, but that is a discussion for a completely different occasion.
Oh my god, I love it.
I should tell Astani about this, actually.
And you see Astani.
I should tell Astani about this, actually. Astani.
You see Astani is further down the hallway, back in kind of the main large entranceway, where at this moment she seems to be talking to a very like freckled individual, and Astani is kind of giving them the walk around. You can see it's a mixture of, like, I would say based off of your passive insight, joy of seeing them, but also surprise and slight worry and not quite anger, but just more so worry that this person is here. And it seems like the individual is trying to reassure them that, like, it's fine, they're staying back, they're not going to be in the vanguard. This person is wearing very similar outfit to Astani, although not as polished, I would say. They seem to be lower rank individual from the Vale Temple, but they also have epaulets that the Crown's Guard are known to wear. So they seem to be one of the clerics that are, and there are a number of clerics moving about the space, that has also been paired up, like almost like a dual degree if you're in college, for instance. So, seemingly she went both routes of wanting to be both a cleric and also wanting to help out the Crown's Guard. But at this moment you can see Astani is kind of pawing the ground and circling the girl as the two are kind of having a banter back and forth.
I guess reading the scene, does it seem like this is one of those is this one of those I should interject myself here, or is it one of those I should probably let them talk this out?
I think that's more of a question to you, actually, based off of kind of the description. Seeing Astani kind of going back and forth with this person, there's definitely based off of your passive perception, there is definitely that kind of sibling relationship that seems to be popping out of this conversation. It is definitely, there are tones of, again, that concern and stuff. There's gentle poking back and forth as Astani is kind of getting their wits about them. as well. So it's up to you if you would like to interject.
Okay, if it doesn't look like it's a super serious thing, I think I'd
No.
walk up and go, "Oh, well, what a time for reunions."
Well, yes. Liza, I want you to meet my friend.
She kind of looks at you for a second, Rory, and then looks around the room because she's noticed and felt as the barrier has shifted a bit. Okay. Hi. I'm Lysa. It's good to meet you. Are you
Hello,
okay?
greetings and Oh, actually, I'm fantastic. We have made discoveries.
Good discoveries, I hope.
Oh, fantastic! Are you all right?
I'm fine. I'm just I'm sorry. I haven't really seen very many individuals like yourself. That's all.
Yes. Well, and they just kind of like look at themselves a bit. I suppose on a certain level, this does come as a bit of a surprise, but for what it's worth, I made it.
You see,
It's a
she
very
looks
long.
very confused by that, but kind of just nods.
Yeah. Even Osani just.
It's I have learned that they make these very interesting looking things that create barriers.
Yeah. I saw Stani grabbed a couple of those too. They're
Did you know
Tyneel's
that you
creations.
did you know you can eat them?
You did what now?
Did you eat them?
Oh, well, not all of them. I only ate one.
That would
Well.
explain. And she kind of looks around at this. What does the barrier around you look like since you were able to kind of attune to it?
Just like this, it basically looks like pale sunlight touching like all of the surfaces because it's yellow. Um, so, uh, like a very low lit torch, that color. It's kind of well, um, as I understand it, you kind of just throw these and you maintain some concentration on them because they are distilled magical energy, and it creates a barrier. But then, as I have learned, if you eat them, it could also create a barrier that's centered on your person, which means that you get the effect of the barrier, but that it's also mobile, which I imagine will probably save more than one life. However, it does require you to have a fairly hardy constitution in order to do that.
There should be plenty of people around here who could. That's incredible. That is incredible. And then just like to Lysa, like, you need to get one.
I've got a bunch on hand at the ready.
I would not. I have to repeat. I would not recommend it to people who are not hardy of constitution.
I guess that will be a conversation. She looks directly at you, Rory. Maybe you could talk to Tyneel about that as an option, and you see she gets this like look on her face and looks at Astani really quickly with like a look of feeling conflicted for a second before she just kind of under her breath goes, "What did it taste like?"
Oh, well, it's a weird combination of both textures and temperatures. It is spicy, it is warm, it is cold, viscous, also, very peculiar of a sensation, but not entirely unpleasant. And also, and possibly my favorite part of this, because it is raw magical energy, and I am designed to repurpose magical energies, it is a thing that I could potentially in the future repurpose to do a completely different thing than the thing it was designed for.
Interesting.
But that is a far more complex set of things, and probably we would run out of time.
Yes, and
Right.
the important thing of a mobile barrier.
That reminds me. This uses my own internal senses of morals and relationships to determine who is or isn't a friend or an enemy, which is why you two can be inside of a barrier and not crushed against the wall. I have also learned that. And it also seems to at least not impact structures. Although I don't know if structures could be considered friend or foe.
I think and you see, Lysa is also looking very scientific for a moment, and then kind of shakes it. We can table this for later because I'm sure Tinyl is going to want to know about it too.
What the ultimate thing I would like to say is what this means is for the people who can ingest these things, you can also rally around them.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, you are fascinating.
Theodora would absolutely love one of these.
And we will pan for a second over to Theodora as you and Sparky, Tinyl, towing the body as well of the individual that you were fighting against, are racing from the just outside of the temple district, moving down the pathway towards the city. Can you go ahead and we'll do a dexterity check to see how quickly y'all are moving.
Oh, okay, not bad. Dexterity check. 19.
You're moving fairly quickly. Luckily, the Pharaoh Fair is relatively free as well. Most people are heading into taverns as kind of early evening is settling in.
Wouldn't people have heard the alert and be going to their homes?
Some people are.
Can go home.
You are far enough away that a lot of people more so are kind of mildly they're intrigued, but it's not impacting them directly, kind of thing.
They're like, oh, what's going on down there?
Yeah.
And then and then going back to whatever the fuck they were doing before. Okay.
Very much if you're originally from the Midwest, the people that stand outside looking for like a funnel cloud or something, not seeing it. Oh, seeing it's in the way in the distance. Okay.
I was more thinking like they're like rubberneckers. They're like, oh, what's going on? Like when you pass by an accident and it's like you're the person who's holding up traffic right now. Please fucking drive.
Yep. Mix of both, I would say. Very easily. You're not getting too many looks, I would say, as you're kind of quickly moving through, one, because you're just moving so quickly. But two, the fact that Tinyl is kind of on the helm. I think if anything, Sparky gets more attention just because a lot of people are not used to seeing such a large dog move through the streets themselves.
I'm also probably 5 feet behind them at all times because Sparky does move faster than me, and I'm not on Sparky.
No. Tinyl, you can see, has gotten quiet. He's okay. But you can hear him kind of muttering under his breath, one of just like, ow, for being sore from the fight itself. But you can also...
Theodora gives him a kind of a side eye, and you wanted to fucking walk next to the dog.
He gives you a look back, but doesn't say anything. As well as kind of muttering bits of information that he seems to be repeating into what looks like a small, very similar to the cube that was thrown out, except it's in the shape of a diamond. And he's kind of recording it almost like a video voice journal, so to speak, of like what the findings were, what happened, giving a record of what had happened, so that way no detail is lost in between the scene that was done there that will probably be needed to investigate later, and then the scene that you all are moving towards as well. So you can kind of hear him muttering under his breath.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Can't wait for somebody to hear that. We just hear every so often a sentence punctuating like, ow, ow.
Every so often. In the distance, as you're kind of moving down the crest of the hill, you can see this kind of large creature about the size of about half a city block, over by the Obsidian Gate, that large watchtower that is kind of overlooking the city of Jorix. And you can see it's not quite there yet. You can see what looks like several kind of, first it looks like fireworks firing off. And then you realize that they are spells that are being cast either from the Crownsguard in the vicinity, but also from the gate itself. As higher up, there are these beams that seem to track where the beast is before shooting down on it. And the armor of the beast is so dense, it's almost bouncing off every so often.
Is it wearing like actual physical armor, or is it like just like it's just because it like has like a carapace or something?
Yes, it's that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just not actual armor. This thing is not fitted in any way. This thing was like literally a small mound of flesh that just grew from eating the souls in the vicinity and has been growing from that. And now it's just literally just a mass of flesh with stubby legs and a massive maw of teeth, just kind of chomping around in the area.
Nasty.
Cute. Wonderful. We are going to move back towards Astani and Rory in this instance. As at this moment, again, Astani, for you, another clawed foot appears just in front of the doorway. And you can hear this low roar. It's not loud, but it definitely kind of sends a shiver up your spine. Can you go ahead, Rory and Astani, if you wouldn't mind rolling a wisdom savings throw, please?
Uh, 13 plus 8.
Okay.
I'm gonna throw an inspiration dice in there just in case.
Okay.
Okay, that should be safe, I think. 23.
23. This low rumble that goes off, shaking the tower, shaking the vicinity that's around as well. Sending, you can see what almost looks like a wave of wind, kind of knocking back several Crownsguard that were out on the street, sending them flying backwards. The two of you easily clock. It's not just a roar of one voice, but it sounds like a almost army of voices pulled together. If you would like to make a spirit check, either of you.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, that's a nat 20
Let's go.
for a 24.
24.
It is a 20 spirit check or spirit save. I think it's a
Spirit check.
right? Okay, that's a 21 for me.
21. Both of you pick up that this thing is not only using its voice, it is using the voices of all the souls that it is ingested. And you are in this moment hearing them. I think each of you get like flashes for a moment of what looks like an inky kind of inside of this creature. And it looks like people almost are caught up in mud in this creature's, the belly of the beast, so to speak. Caught up, yelling, stuck in what seems like quicksand as you slowly see people being absorbed by this creature. These are the souls of the lost so far. All right. We move to Rory. You were first up in the initiative.
Okay, am I inside or outside?
You are inside the Obsidian Gate. The actual entrance to the gate itself is about 25 feet in front of you. And then the beastie is another 15 feet beyond that.
Okay.
This is one of the larger streets of Jorix because it's a main thoroughfare.
Okay. Hold on. Do I have that spell? I do have that one. I am going to bonus action Hunter's Mark
Okay.
on the creature.
Okay.
And then we are going to fire a bow at it.
Love it. Go for it.
Okay. That is a 20 to hit.
That misses.
That misses this massive creature?
Mm-hmm. It ricochets off of the armor that it seems to be wearing, that outer kind of skin that I mentioned, of this mass of... And you moved outside, or are you trying to shoot from like a vantage point?
No, I'm going to move forward about 20 feet before I do it.
Okay. You see this thing is... has 4 kind of massive paws that it seems to be moving its massive body on, struggling to do so. It is just a mass of flesh, no eyes except for this massive maw that is open after just doing a roar. The shot goes off and immediately bounces off a portion of the skin. I would say probably, was there a specific area that you were aiming for?
No.
Okay. We'll say for flavor that you were maybe going for like the area just between like its underside and where its arm kind of meets. Thinking maybe that'll be a more sensitive and prone area, and instead it just bounces right off, slamming into the side of the building.
Okay. That for now will be... Hold on for a moment. Okay, that for now will be my turn.
Okay. All right. Next up is the beastie. Let's see what it is going to do. Gotcha. It is going to do... you see several Crown's Guard off to your left, further along. So they're just at this moment kind of slowly getting up after being knocked back by some wind or whatever this thing was. And immediately the area around them darkening as this creature moves forward and just chomps down with their maw on them. Before ripping its head back up. And you can see up in the sky, there are 2 individuals at this moment that seem to have been thrown up. And the creature opens up its maw again before chomping down, catching them. And you, I would say, Rory would hear this kind of sound as you can hear not only the Crown's Guard yelling, but also this creature swallowing them whole. That's it for its turn.
Yep.
Moss.
That's Ostani's turn.
Did they die in front of Ostani?
You were further into the building, but you would have seen from the windows. You would have seen the figures fly up into the sky and then probably disappear beyond some stonework that was in place.
Okay, so they're not close enough for this reaction, but there is just like shaking in anger as soon as that's coming through, and feeling the fading life essence of anyone who has been taken just go further and further away, like going beneath the waves. Is just, oh, she's ready to go to this as soon as possible.
Sure. I think you hear Lysa behind you go, "What the fuck?" Having never seen anything like this before. But it is your turn. What are you doing?
How far away from the creature is Ostani?
I would say probably about 25 feet, give or take.
Oh, so when the creature did this,
Mhm.
And they ate those people.
Yes.
They were 25 feet away.
Correct. They're out.
Okay.
You're within the Obsidian Gate, so you're in the tower. They're outside the tower. Yes.
So I have a reaction called Bardo that I want to use.
Okay.
Let me
What is
just
that?
make sure. I need to find it because it is something that I've selected, but I cannot find it anywhere else. And it could be, I'll come back to Bardo SR. Oh, I see where it is from. Okay, it's from a different thing. But I added it because I thought it would fit Osani, where it's a reaction where Osani would take when they see a creature within 30 feet of them die.
Mm-hmm.
And with like a pinch of like graveyard dirt, they're pretty much like grabbing like the last life essence of that creature, and you can use that to harm something or help someone.
Gotcha.
And if it is a harm, it is a wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
I think for one person who's gone there, Osani's anger is just immediately like taking that graveyard dirt and just spreading it across their palm and just wanting to harm this creature from inside out.
Sure. It's a wisdom check, you said?
Yes.
Okay. Luckily, this thing is terrible with those. I kid you not, -2.
Okay. I think I found the whole thing because I selected in my chart in my sheet. But here's the full one. Where should I post this game?
If you want to post it in Zoom, that's totally fine.
Yeah,
and
let's
what
do
does
that
it
there.
look like as you were doing this?
It's just the like kind of weave of the veil coming out, calling and like to the last voices of those that Osani cannot save, and that little bit of essence that is left that is trailing, Osani grabs it like it is string and pulls it, and instead of imbuing that with someone who requires help or healing, they want to harm the creature. So the target will take psychic damage equal to 68 plus my spellcasting ability.
6d8 or 68?
That's what 68.
Oh
68.
my gosh, that's so good.
You should have just said 68. You should.
I should have just that. Yes. So since they failed it, yes, that is what it is. I will send it to you, for sure, because I've been sitting on this and I had not had a chance to be like,
Now's
use
the time
that,
to
so.
unleash. Yeah.
Where do I? Okay. Do I have a D on me?
I think that's a Kobold Press spell because I think I took it for someone.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It sounds like a
Islin,
Kobold
maybe?
Press knowing them.
I think I took it for Islin.
Yeah, and if we want to like talk about that later, please.
No,
obvious.
that's totally
I was
fine.
just like, I just picked spells that were necromancy flavored for her, and that was it. That was
Dimple
like,
used Kobold Press last season, so I see no issue with it. So Kobold Press is great. So not sponsored, but you should check out their stuff. Just saying.
Not sponsored, but good. Being just saying.
could be. That is a 28 plus 4.
Ooh, so 32 in total. Love
Yeah.
that. You see, as you are using this, that kind of psychic energy that is you. It is part of you. Kind of slowly, almost like electricity from the pole, snaking its way up the body of this creature, which grimaces and groans. And again, you hear the individuals that are inside of the belly of the beast kind of groaning, adding their noises to it instead. Definitely didn't like the hit, but is still up for sure.
It's enough for her as her reaction. For her turn, she will move as close as possible to the creature. I think with that, they will. They're pulling up the like the bells that are attached to them, and ringing it and like putting up in front of the creature to do their channel divinity, and they curse that creature in front of them, just oh dare, and like in this anger, but they're the lady's like power, and through them. The next time myself or an ally of mine hits a creature with an attack, that creature has a vulnerability to all of that attack's damage, and then the curse ends. That will be their action, and I think with that, they could charge at it, but that's nothing. I think they're going to that's with it. Nope, I can't do that. That will be their turn.
Okay, sounds good. We move towards Deodora and Tyneal. If you wouldn't mind rolling, let's do another dex check to see how quickly you're moving.
That's another 19.
Oh, speeding through. You've made it down the ridge and have just entered the city of Jorik's perimeters. Right now entering Erudite Quarter, where all the colleges are. You're about one district over. So it's going to take you a little bit,
so
but you're almost there.
So like by next turn I'll be there, or...
Probably the turn after the one, yeah. But
okay, I'm just hauling ass. We're just hauling ass.
Moving as quickly as you can. As we move to the Isidian Gate itself, as mentioned, is also doing a number of attacks. You see from the very focal point of the tower itself, I would say both Astani and Rory would get a really great image of this. At first, it looks like a small orb, almost like a marble of light shining. That expands into almost like this fan, and it beams down onto the creature. I'm going to say Rory, just based off of your passive, this is some kind of modified version of daylight that they are just casting down, trying to just burn this creature away, whatever it is, as much as possible. So that is going. You all are fine. It seems to not be impacting all of you, as this creature's broad back is kind of taking the vast majority of the hit itself. But you all would hear and probably smell what smells like burning flesh in the vicinity. And you can see like the charred kind of skin starting to appear, as well as we move back to the top of the order with Rory.
Okay. The range that this thing has. How far away is this creature?
Not far. You moved pretty close to it, so I would probably say within 10 or so feet.
Okay. Okay. So I would like to, well, yeah, I think I'll do this. Can I, what would I need to roll to know what type of creature this is?
I would say that would either be nature or history check.
Nature or history? Did I take either of those? Of course I didn't. Let's have a roll. That is a 19 on nature.
You would know that this is I think, here, I'm going to add some flavor to it. You think back for a moment, going through your various logs of information, almost like files on a computer. And a memory sparks to mind of you in your laboratory back in Felk. As you were perusing a number of books, as there have been sightings of these creatures near Felk. Beings known as Sorrowsworn, described as kind of nightmarish creatures born from the negative emotions that individuals can feel. And that they feed on this. Most of the time, they're not monstrous in this kind of size. Most of them are usually probably like the biggest is the size of a troll, and the smallest is like the small size of like a puppy.
Okay.
But yeah, they're a creature of that space. I'll say this too to add. Because of Felk's many research into soul energy, spirit power, etc., you've seen when a soul is well nourished, and you've also seen when it's starving. This would be the latter.
Okay. I will ask this for mechanic reasons.
Sure.
Wherein I will require this creature to make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, cool. 'Cause
I am
it's
going to
really
tell
good at
you
that.
this. I'm going to tell you, however, it needs to make that saving throw unless it is undead, a fiend, or an aberration.
Oh. Because of... It does not need to make it.
Okay.
It does not need to make it.
Okay. In that case, I just need to roll damage for you.
Really great question. Because I will say, normally, yes, but because of things, no.
Okay. Let me get one of these, two of these. Okay, third one. Okay, it takes like a small a small hole opens up among the clouds in the sky, and a beam of silver moonlight comes down for like a 20-foot area centered on that creature, and it takes 6 radiant damage.
Okay. It will take that as that beam of light hits, almost melding with the kind of modified daylight that's coming down from the top of the Ascidian gate.
Oh, wait a minute. This one, I need to... Oh, okay. Never mind. That is only a thing that happens when I use weapons, and I did not use one for this. Okay. That is going to end my turn.
Okay.